Hey guys, this is Mark from ZCarGuide. First off, a very belated Happy New Year to you all. This video is meant to be kind of an update on what I've been up to here, and it actually kind of changes a lot with the site and the kind of videos and written content and even products that I can offer on the site available for sale. And I kind of thought that it deserved its own video here, so that's what this is. And yeah, I'm really excited to tell you guys what I've been doing here. So I'll start with a very brief backstory. I grew up around a lot of classic cars. My dad is an avid classic car restorer and collector and has been in that business his whole life. So growing up, I saw a lot of American cars, but really not a whole lot of JDM anything, and certainly not Datsuns. I'd actually never seen a 240Z. But I really got into the classic cars, and when I moved away to college, I went to the University of Maryland. I moved away from my family and away from my dad and my dad's cars. So I was kind of missing them, really. I really missed the feeling of driving an old car. And I started to look for something that I could drive that would give me that same feeling. And, another big consideration was something that was in my price range. And that kind of led me to a Petrolicious video that I'm sure a lot of you are very familiar with. Dave Scholl's 240Z is pretty famous in the Z community. And I was really taken aback by that car. Again, that I had never really seen a Datsun, and I'd never seen a 240Z, and I just thought, wow, what a cool car. And at that time, I thought, wow, this is actually kind of within my price range. I had about $10,000 to spend. And I think now prices have obviously changed a whole lot, but I did some searching on, all the different classic car listing sites, and I found one on Auto Trader. My dad and I were at the Barrett-Jackson auction in Arizona, and it was about an hour north of Scottsdale, where the auction is located, in Prescott, Arizona. And it was just a great car. The owner had taken such good care of it, and he really kept all meticulous records, and it was really just, you couldn't have asked for a better car searching experience. It was the first one I actually went to go look at, and my dad, again, a classic car restorer, looked at me, and when we're doing the test drive, it says, if you're not buying this car, I am. So that kind of sealed the deal. We agreed on price, and I bought the car. We drove back to the auction, got it shipped back, and I actually ended up bringing it to the University of Maryland with me. And for 2 years there, I'm pretty ashamed to admit, it did sit outside, but it was part of enjoying that car. And I really got into it more and more. And a lot of the things that I would do to the car, I couldn't really do in a driveway there. There was no garage that I could even use at that point. And pretty much all of the repair things you see on the site, the videos and stuff like that, are at my parents' house. So when the car was back home in Pennsylvania with my parents, I would use my dad's garage and his tools to do a lot of the repairs and stuff like that. 2017, I decided to start ZCarGuide, and a lot of the kind of feeling behind that was that the initial $10,000 that I talked about that allowed me to buy this car, I earned starting another website in high school. And it was based on something that I had some experience with, but I was definitely by no means an expert. And I found out kind of that, just by the effort of putting this stuff out there and making it available, and really putting your best effort forward, accuracy obviously matters, but it is the internet, and let me tell you, people will correct you if you're wrong. So, I found out a lot about that process of putting stuff out there, and it was a really rewarding experience, and I enjoyed a lot of it. So when I got more and more into these cars, I decided that I would start another website, and that it would be a really good thing to focus on. And I started making these informational guides, buying and pricing, how to identify the car, or each model, the colors that were available, all kinds of stuff. And at some point, I ended up selling parts on my own. An opportunity I thought kind of became available, and I decided I would give it a try. I was then, and I am still. I have a full-time job, but this is kind of a side project, and I'm letting it kind of grow as much as possible. So I live in Baltimore, Maryland, and at that time I was living in an apartment complex. They gave us a walk-in closet, which I did not know what I was going to do with, but apparently the answer to that was fill it with car parts and sell them online. So it was actually a really good place for me to start that. I just kind of out of necessity started with some smaller parts that I could keep in that closet, and just started making regular trips to the post office every day, and you know, at that point it was just growing pretty consistently. It hasn't been crazy, but it's been really rewarding because it's got me a lot more into the hobby. I went to ZCon for the first time this year and talked to some people, and even met some people that have used my site and have bought some parts from me. So that was a really cool experience, and it really makes me want to get more and more into this hobby. You know, I look at people like Chris Carl, who's the executive director of ZCCA, and he's been involved in that club for so long, and has just offered as much help as he can. And as a result, he's helped grow the hobby. I'm sure he's made all kinds of really wonderful friends through that hobby, and he's kind of a person to look up to. In that, you know, of course, a lot of this is a business, and I need to try to sell as many parts as possible, and try to profit off of that. But I kind of wanted to have that be secondary. Like I said, this is not my full-time job. My main goal with this kind of next phase of the site, as I keep growing it, is to try to put first, you know, trying to help this hobby, trying to provide the best possible information, really vetting the parts that I put on the site and making sure that they actually work for the intended application, providing the best instructional content for how to use these parts, and you know, working more with people already in the hobby to try to advance their kind of cause, whatever it is, whether it's a club or, you know, the 240Z registry, whatever it is. I want to become more involved in stuff like that, and take example from those people that I talked about. And yeah, I'm really excited about that. So what is this big update to ZCarGuide that really changes things that I've been talking about? It's half a personal update and half an update to the business itself, and that I've over the past few months, I've been, you know, in knowing that my current lease was ending, I've been looking for a new place to live and really trying to find a place that had a garage, so I can bring my car here. I can work on my car in the garage and make videos and all kinds of new content that has kind of been sort of elusive to me recently. And again, after a few months of searching, it's almost like a holy grail type thing. In the DC, Maryland, Virginia area, I found an attached garage, and I didn't have to move to the middle of nowhere away from everyone I know to get it. So I'm really excited. I have a 2-car garage, and my roommates agreed to let me have the whole space to myself to work on stuff here. So there's all kinds of new videos that I can do. This really opens up a lot of possibilities, if you ask me. My car is coming here soon. I've spent the past couple weeks really getting the garage ready. I built some very over-the-top workbenches that I'm very proud of, but all the tools are organized, all of my materials are organized. It's a really nice place to work, and I'm so excited to do some videos in here and do some repairs and you know, maybe some modifications. I like to keep my car pretty original. One of the video series that I'm most excited about is I'm starting to look for a decent condition L24 engine, because I would like to do a full restoration and reconditioning of a rebuilding of an L24 engine, document the whole process, because I think there's a lot of educational, informational content that I can provide there. I have a lot of really knowledgeable people on engines that I can consult and make some really good videos about that. And the end result would be, I want to build a custom engine test stand and have an L24 up on a test stand. I think that'd be super cool to have, and it'd be really fun to build. I think, you know, there's all kinds of other things I can do with that. Test out different exhaust systems so you can get a good idea of what they sound like. But yeah, I think it's a whole new kind of world of possibilities for the types of videos and informational content I can write on the site. So if you are not already subscribed, I would love if you could subscribe. But thank you for watching. I really appreciate everyone who continues to support the site, and stay tuned for these new videos. Thank you. As a final note, in honor of this, and as a thank you if you watched this whole thing, I'm running my first ever sale on shop.zcarguide.com. If you use code NEWHOME at checkout, I will give you 15% off of your entire order. This Friday is the last day, the 22nd. So yeah, please take advantage of that if you'd like to buy any parts.